Hi, this is Tim from UK Home Gym, your home for UK specific independent home gym tips and advice. And if you want to run a marathon, I'm going to tell you why I think that having a home gym is going to help you do just that. Now, my experience with running marathons is that I've run 3 marathons. I'm hoping to do another one next year. And I want to run a marathon every year for as long as I can, basically, or at least one per year every year. But the first experience I had with running a marathon didn't go too well. In fact, it ended with my only ever did not finish DNF in my whole sort of running career, basically running journey, whatever running experience. I'm very much an amateur athlete, but still, that was the only time I've ever not finished a race. And the reason I didn't finish it is because I was injured on the start line. And there's something different about the first marathon that I tried to run and the 3 subsequent ones that I successfully finished. And that is that for the training for the first one, I did absolutely zero strength training and got injured during the taper. I got 10 kilometers into or just over 10 kilometers into the marathon, and had to stop and wait for the sweep car to pick me up, the sweep coach to pick me up, which was quite an unpleasant experience. But I don't want to repeat that, and I've used that as fuel to sort of to motivate me in the future, and also as a learning lesson into why strength training is so important for anyone who wants to run a marathon. Now, if you want to run a marathon, you probably are someone who already runs quite a lot, and that's fine, that's great. But you will often find, and this happens to countless people that I know, and it's happened to me, as I said, and I see it happening all the time to so many people. There's a lot of people who regularly run 5Ks, 10Ks, all of that kind of stuff, and then when they step it up to the marathon, to training for the marathon, they get injured. And what happens is they end up with shin splints and all of these other sort of overuse injuries and stuff like that. And what that all is, I'm not a doctor, but this is my experience of it. What that all is your body not being strong enough to cope with the training load that you're putting on, the volume that you're putting on there, because you're putting in, I don't know, it could be 50, 70, 80, 100 kilometers, whatever, per week, maybe more, depending on, what your goals are for the marathon and so on. You put that amount of stress on your muscles and your ligaments and your bones, and there is a very high chance of getting injured. I'm not going to say you are going to get injured. Some people can just do it and they're fine, and some people do much less than that and they get injured. The biggest problem, in my experience, is a lack of strength, and that often sort of, when people identify as runners, they often think, well, I don't want to go to the gym, because it runs counter to all the things I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get faster, I'm trying to get more endurant. And the idea of lifting heavy weights and drinking protein shakes and stuff like that sounds completely alien to me. But injury prevention is very, very important. It must be part of your training. Now, a lot of people will sort of learn that the hard way, or somebody will tell them that, a coach will tell them that, and they will sort of throw that into their training, and they'll end up doing 6 days of running or 5 days of running or whatever, and then they'll do a day in the gym, and they'll go to the gym and they'll do all these exercises that they believe are going to help them stay injury-free or rehabilitate little niggling, injuries that are sort of bothering them, little things that have started to sort of come up, or they've gone to a PT and the PT has told them, do this. A physiotherapist maybe has sort of told them to do some sort of exercise because they've gone there with some sort of pain, right? Now you can avoid all of that by doing some injury prevention, and starting off your strength program way before you start your marathon training. So if your marathon training is about 3 months or whatever, you ideally, before you start that training, you can do strength work to build up your muscles so that they're actually able to cope with that sort of training load. And you could go to a commercial gym and do all that, but I think that you will find it easier to have a home gym set up and do that. Now, this is the sort of, that's the main reason why you would need a home gym or any kind of gym. But now I'm going to talk a little bit more about why specifically a home gym helps. I think that when you are training for a marathon, everything tends to be, you tend to have, particularly if you've got other commitments, right? Maybe you have a family, maybe you have a job, all of these kind of things. And all of those things are time constraints. And how you're supposed to do all of those things and then also go to the gym and train in the gym, that makes it really, really difficult, doesn't it? If you think about, okay, well, I'm going to spend, 8, 9, maybe 10, 11 hours, whatever, out on the roads every week training, or on the treadmills or whatever training, then I need to go and do strength training as well. And okay, doing that is going to take another massive chunk of time out of your week. And probably, if you've got a lot of responsibilities, as I was saying, you're going to find that really, really challenging. And you are going to find that particularly challenging because if you go to a commercial gym, they have commercial gym opening times, and maybe they open at times that don't really suit you. Maybe the only time that you've got left over in the week to do any kind of strength training is, I don't know, maybe it's a Sunday early morning or something like that, For instance, I do my long runs on Wednesdays, and I do a little bit of strength work on Sundays, but I do it early in the morning, and there is no commercial gym around me that's open at that particular time. There might be some, further afield, but there's none around me that are open at that particular time. And okay, maybe I had to go to one that's further afield. Well, then I need to budget in all the time that it's going to take me to get there and to get back, and I'm going to have to spend more money on it and so on, because I need to take a bus to get there or whatever, or a train to get there, train back. All of this stuff is going to take a lot of time to do something that is not really my top priority. The strength training is, I'm just doing it to sort of stave off the injuries in this particular time. If I had it all at home, then it would be a whole lot easier, because at any time I can go and, even at very unsocial hours, I can still go and do my strength training. And if I'm able to save time, it's such a precious commodity when I'm marathon training. When you're marathon training, time is so important to you. You don't want to waste a second. You get very grumpy if you miss even like one workout or whatever because of, maybe you had to stay late at work or something like that. You get very grumpy about it. But being able to just put that in wherever you like in the week really helps. And also, I find that if a lot of people, there's so many people that I know who are like this, who they have a commercial gym membership and they train for marathons, and they just go in there once a week to do their strength work, right? Now, if you could do it like that, and I can see a lot of reasons why people do that, but I think that it's optimal to have, like, rather than just one big session on a Tuesday afternoon or Tuesday evening or something like that, wouldn't it be great if you could just split that up or do a lighter workout on another day of the week as well? And with a home gym, it's right there next to you, and you can basically do that. You can break it into a much more effective and efficient, training schedule for yourself if you're able to do that. Another thing that you can do there is, maybe on a lighter day, or there are days when you come back in from your run, and you think, right, well, this is a day when I've gone really purposefully light, and I can actually come back home, and then straight after my run, I can do, a small amount of strength work. Maybe it's something upper body related. Maybe it's abs or something like that. You want to build a good, strong core for your running. The ability to be able to just run straight into the gym, your own house, quickly add that to the end of your workout, then go and have your shower and get on with your day, I think is really, really helpful. So basically, the ability there to prevent injuries, to save time, to have more consistency with your strength workouts, and to add that efficiency in there. I think all of these things really make a very strong case for having a home gym if your goal is to run marathons, or your first marathon or whatever. You might say that's all very well, but building a home gym is not cheap. To that I would counter, well, I believe you can get it done for, I think, I've got a video where I go through this, and I sort of build a home gym for about £600, and I think that was last year that I did that. Inflation has probably taken a little bit of a bite out of that, so I still think that you could realistically, put together a decent home gym for about £600, and you could get yourself off to a good start with £200, £300, and then I'm talking about something that you'd be able to use long term. With £200-300, then you could probably supplement that, year by year. As you get stronger, you'd be buying mainly more weight plates and stuff like that, a few other bits and bobs. As I said, I've gone through this in other videos, but you might say, well, that's a big initial outlay to put down, but think about this. Imagine that you then no longer have to worry about commercial gym memberships when you're training for any subsequent marathons that you're running. And you will also get that you'll be able to save time in all of those marathons as well, and improve your efficiency in your training schedule in all of those marathons too. So, in the long term, I do think that having a home gym is definitely a massive boost. It's helped me immeasurably in terms of marathons and marathon performance and so on. Really, I feel very confident going into, a marathon now, knowing that I've been able to do as much strength work as I've needed to do. Maybe, had blocks of strength there where I focused more on strength than on running. But anyway, let me know your experience with strength training for marathons in the comments below. And if you have a home gym and you also run marathons, how has it helped you? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please remember to like, share and subscribe. That really helps me to grow the channel. Please do check out our website, ukhomegym.com, and I'll see you next time on UK Home Gym.